While we often struggle with the daily grind, there are still people who contribute to the social space by doing some good. JanBhagidari is a program that shares the inspirational journeys of such people. Hello and welcome to the first episode of JanBhagidari, and I'm your host Anupriya Mishra. Today I have with me a versatile lady, Sujata Suri, who has been contributing through a social initiative, Deep Foundation. Welcome, Sujata. It's a pleasure to have you on my show.
Thank you so much, Anupriya. Pleasure to be here too.
Sujata, you have so many accomplishments already. You started your career as an IT professional. You moved to marketing and communications. You're a wellness expert. How did Deep Foundation come in picture and how did you establish it?
Well, it's a 10-year-old story.
Yeah.
And it started over a cup of tea with a few friends in the room. And we all thought that, okay, perhaps it's time to give back to society in whatever way we can. And we all have our own jobs and businesses. So we were wondering if we could do something, make any impact, with continuing with whatever we do, and at the same time trying to make a little dent that can, change situations. So that's how it started, and it's been 10 years and the journey continues.
Can you please elaborate a little on what Deep Foundation is, for our viewers to understand that what is the kind of work that you do under Deep Foundation?
Okay, well, we have two key initiatives. One is something, pretty unique that we developed quite by chance. It is a library program. And it's called the Henny Penny Libraries. And we actually support either small NGOs or small schools in remote villages. We support them with a library. And we also conduct resource training there, and we conduct storytelling sessions and support them with workshops on an ongoing basis. The other initiative is called Project Neev, through which we send children to school and thereafter to college and skill them and get them placed.
How do these children associate with you? Where do they come from?
Okay, well, we actually started with a small group of children who belong to, all the daily wage laborers and the presswalas and the maids and all, who are working in our own colony in Vasat Kunj. So we have two villages adjoining where I stay, and they are the villages of Kishangarh and Mehroli. So most of these children come from there.
So
they're mostly migrant labor kids. Yeah.
You proactively go and reach out and tell about your program, or
we don't really have to do that. I mean, somehow the word of mouth brings them to us because we run Neev very, very differently. I think probably that's why children tend to talk more about it.
What kind of workshops do you provide these kids which help them?
See, Neev was set up to basically, provide them functional literacy skills and life skills. And all our curriculum is based around these two key pillars. And so we teach them functional English and functional maths. It could be general science, social science, but in a very, very different manner. And we take in real life situations and we weave them into the program and so on. So we have a different curriculum, and we don't sit and do remedial classes. So the children go and study on their own. Of course, if they have any, doubts, they can come and get it clarified as far as their schoolwork is concerned. And we conduct different workshops. We have a whole lot of volunteers. They could be from corporates, they could be from, students, they could be anybody from even the media. And they come and they share their experiences, and the children, tend to learn from them, and there are interactive sessions. Plus we have the usual, the crafts and the dance and the music and all of that, and festivals. Yeah. So.
You have people joining in from all walks of life. So whenever
Yes.
they take a workshop, is it related to their profession, or is it something which help these kids in their practical day-to-day life?
Well, we just encourage people to come and talk about life and yeah, even about their work if they want. And there's always so much to learn and gives them a bigger perspective about, what is happening outside. And it seems to be working pretty well because so far we've sent about 30 kids through college and they're graduates and postgraduates, and so many of them are working, and they've done it they've done pretty well for themselves. All went to DU.
That's really, an amazing initiative. How many badges have there been so far?
It's an ongoing process, so a couple of them go out and a couple of them come in, but even the older ones keep
Keep
coming
coming
back.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they
the
don't
umbilical
lose
cord
touch.
is not really
Correct.
detached yet. Yeah.
That's nice. Also, as you've spoken about the other initiative, which is providing libraries to the private institutes, the small, primarily the
Yeah, the small,
small
yeah.
villages and all of that. So, how does that work?
That is actually, again, we always have a wish list of about 25 to 30, institutions that require a library. We also have NGO partners. So a lot of people keep coming on board, and then we do crowdfunding, For every time we have to set it up. I mean, of course, the process is very slow because it's not easy to raise funds, although our libraries don't cost very much.
Right.
And we give very, very, child friendly, colorful, nice books, and both in the vernacular and in.
But these are not the academic.
No, we don't give academic books in the libraries. We just want the children to have fun and be in love with books, be in love with reading. And once they start, kind of interacting with the books.
Tell us something more about it.
Yeah. So, well, I'm a trekker, and so I was trekking there, and there we saw, somewhere in one of the alpine lakes, there was this nomadic shepherd, the Bakarwal. He was teaching, it was a beautiful visual. There was nobody there. It was just stark, raw nature, and there were these 8 kids sitting with books. And there was this man teaching them at 12,000 feet. So that really, got us. And then we got talking to the Bakarwals and we realized how impoverished they were and how marginalized. And so we really wanted to do something for them. And that's how the thought, that's how we thought that, yeah, books is the way forward because it's a challenge for them. But over a period of time, we've managed to reach out to more than 6,000 children through our library programs across India.
How many libraries have you established so far?
We have established 50 as on date. The foundation
15, 10 years.
50 in 10 years, yeah. Because the fundraising process is very slow, and we all, like I said, we have our own jobs and businesses. Nobody takes, so we've taken it slow and steady, and of course, we would like to reach out to as many people as we can and as long as we can. It's an ongoing process.
How do you raise funds for these libraries?
So we usually crowdfund our libraries. We send out through our WhatsApp and social media presence. We reach out to people and somehow we get donors or whatever, because we don't need too much. We just need about 25 to 30,000 per library, and it's not a huge amount, so we manage to collect that much. And since nobody takes a penny out of that, so no one gets any monetary benefit at the foundation. It's completely a volunteer based platform that we've created. So since nobody gets any monetary benefit at the foundation, whatever we collect is entirely directed towards that initiative. So 100% of the money So they're really very little, if it's outstation, we may use a small amount for travel, but other than that, there are no administrative costs. So, so far we've managed to, take this forward. We never thought it would grow so big and we could reach out to so many. So since it's works, we're a little encouraged to take it a little further.
And how does it work? You get the requests from these institutes first, or you try and collect money and then go for books and
No,
then reach out to
no.
institutes.
It's the
What is
other way around.
It's the other way
It's
around.
the other way around. I mean, we get the request. Like I said, we always, at any point in time, I have about 25 to 30 requests. Unfortunately, we can't meet them immediately. I wish if we had the resources, we would have done that. But yeah, so we kind of pick two at a time and we collect the funds and then we establish those and then we pick the next two.
In today's busy life, it's very difficult to chip in time for such activities. I see people, most of the times talking about their busy schedule. What is the reward that you get in volunteering into such activities? And, I'm sure that while you spend time with the children, you do enjoy that bit. But apart from that, what is the motivation that drives?
Well, I think the biggest motivation is the fact that these very very small acts of ours, they are actually very tiny and they're actually able to create a small dent, and that is what gives us the joy, and I think that's our reward. And I mean, to see lives change through our Neev project, for example, when a completely, I mean, zero literacy level in a family, and then you get the first graduate in a entire village, and that is celebrated, and then that boy goes on to get a great job and is today earning about 25-30,000 rupees a month. It's like not bad. Lives change.
And they keep getting back to you
Yes,
for more
yes.
and more guidance, more support. I
Yes,
think that's
and the beauty is that these children are now giving back to the NGO.
Oh.
So, in whatever little way they can, their time, which is very valuable because we are constantly looking for volunteers, whatever they've learned, they try to give back, and that's a great thing. So.
The government has started a lot of initiatives. So they have been encouraging children education, girl child education in the form of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. And also when it comes to the contribution in the society, they have been encouraging Swachh Bharat, which turned out to be a mass movement. What is your thought around this? And do you think that you can include any of these in your, or have you been taking some inspiration from these schemes and applying it into your NGO?
In fact, each and every one of them have been imbibed and very well received, with the children. Swachh Bharat is a big hit. I mean, it started off as a slogan, but these children have actually internalized it and they have ensured that people around, they've started telling their parents, and then when their house is clean and then, for example, they don't throw any kuda outside. Earlier they would just chuck things out and the house would be clean. Now they make sure that everything outside is clean as well, and then they tell their neighbors. So we've had some very nice Swachh Bharat initiatives within as workshops. And as far Beti Bachao, of course, it's our strong belief and we follow it very, very diligently. We have, I mean, our girls are pampered more than the boys, and the boys learn. Our curriculum is such, we try to drive in those values where the boys learn to respect the girls through a whole lot of measures. And of course, that's a part of the curriculum. But yes, we are very, very serious about these.
With tremendous responsibility on your shoulders, I must say, how do you manage to strike a work-life balance?
Well, time management, I guess, because we all have 24 hours. That's the common factor. And also, if you prioritize whatever you do, I think you're able to achieve, everything. I work flexi hours. I fix my own appointments, but never at the cost of the other. We work around each of those schedules, and seem to manage pretty well. But I think it's all about prioritizing, and once you prioritize something, it's important enough for you to give that time, you will.
Do you have any message for the youngsters or individuals who wish to contribute and want to be a part of such initiative in some way or the other? It can be on their own, it can be joining an NGO or joining an organization where they can volunteer proactively. So do you have any message for them?
Yes, in fact, before I give the message, I must tell you that the current generation of school kids, and they are extremely caring, and I get a lot of volunteers from schools on their own, so my message, not just to the youngsters, but to people in general, would be just pick up any cause, anything that you're passionate about, or anything that you feel you can contribute with your skill set, in any way. We got into the library program. None of us are teachers really, but we've learned, over time, because we learned how to use whatever experience we've had and made, this fun activity for the children. So you can actually pick up anything and just take it forward. There's a lot to do, there is so much that needs to be done.
It was a pleasure to have you on our show, Sujata, and you're doing an excellent job, I must say. And thank you so much for being on our show.